Welcome to the Group E9 Final Project demo. So for our first story, we titled it Play Slideshow, and our target is Sally Student. As Sally Student, I want to be able to view the slideshow on the digital screen outside the CXSL so that I can be updated on the current state of the CXSL, including upcoming events and activities in UNC CS department. So the value that this project is going to bring is that Sally Student will have quick access to information involving the XL, including events, reservations, etc. The CSXL is able to promote information that grows the CS community, including social media, which you'll see later. So I'm just going to run you through an example of a slideshow where you'll see it on the TV. All right, I know that was awesome. So let's go ahead and break down each slide because that might have went too fast. So then we just start off with a basic title slide welcoming all visitors to CSXL. And then we transition into our room statistics slide, which displays the operating hours for the day at the top. And that's just fetched information from the CSXL. And then on top of that, we're able to display in the drop-in section of the XL the type of seats available and the current amount. And it says 0 on the demo, but it does fetch that information every time the slide is called. And so it will update as seats open and close. And next, we can go to our events slide, and this is also fetched information using the events API. It shows today's events and then upcoming events in the future. And then we have an organization statistics slide, and essentially we just think that this slide would be able to advertise people registering their organization with the CXXL. And then if you look over to the right, it just has a fun statistics to encourage people with organizations registered. This is also fetched using the organization API. And lastly, we have an Instagram slide. And so we think that a lot of the users probably won't be able to see or know about the Instagram, so we decided to go ahead and put an Instagram slide which fetches information currently from a test Instagram account, but hopefully in the future it will fetch from the actual CXXL's Instagram account. And this is also fetched using Instagram API and updates every time the slide is called.
So for our Story 1 challenges, one of the big challenges we had was hiding the navigation bar that's on the CSX website. For this, we kind of had to go in and inject our own service into the pre-existing code to allow for that to be hidden whenever the play component initializes. Another challenge we had during the story was entering and leaving full screen for different browsers. So while each browser has their own implementation, we had to provide different methods for each browser to enter and leave full screen upon initialization. Another challenge was also implementing transitions for each slide as they come in and out of the view of the screen. And this turned out to be one of the hardest challenges we had during the story. And then the last challenge we had was integrating this with the existing services in the CSXL codebase. For our future considerations for Story 1, we wanted to get more transitions aside from the ones we already have. Right now we're just using the one fade-in transition, but in the future we want to be able to have like more transitions so that the user can change out which transition they want to use. Another consideration would be better styling to our slides. We kind of cooked with them, but we know that everything can be improved just a little bit, so just having better styling in the future, more updates to make it look more like the CXXL already. Another consideration is designing it to be viewed from a phone. Right now it's only just for web viewing on your computer, so in the future we could implement it so that you can see the actual slideshow on your mobile device as well. And the last consideration is we thought about abstracting our play component to a separate link so that anyone can access this, because at the moment, the only person that can access this link is the root user. So every time you'd want to play the slideshow, you'd have to go in and play underneath the root user. But we want to eventually abstract this so that anyone can access this link as long as the slideshow is active. For our second story, we went over the edit component of the slideshow. So the problem here is, as the Rhonda root user, I want to be able to edit the CXL slideshow, including changing the slide order and content of each slide so that I can display the desired content to visitors. The value of this would be that Rhonda root has the capability to modify the slide order and content of each slide. And this would also be able to have the CXL slideshow communicate information to its students and other visitors.
Hey guys, so now I'm going to show you the demo of the edit component. So in the edit component, you can see this is exactly sort of the behind the scenes that Caden showed for the play demo. So you can see all the slides that he showed you in the correct order that you saw. So upon first entering, you can sort of explore how you can like drag and drop slides across from active to inactive, as well as order them within the active list. And you can see if you click the save order button and then preview, it directly updates the order that you can see. So you saw we put organization first, and then it'll transition to the title slide. So that's sort of how you can like drag and drop to order. It's super user friendly. We can also like, let's say you want to create a new slide. Obviously that's something that's important. So if you click add slide, you're taken to this form dialog in which you can select the template as well as input some fields. So let's just create like an Instagram slide and say follow us plus smiley face. Click save. You can see it pops up down here. If we drag that up into the active slide and then click save order and preview, you can see it's that new slide we just created with the Instagram template. Some other things to keep in mind, we can also delete the slide we just created. So obviously we didn't like that title, so we're going to delete it. And then sort of, let's say we want the old Instagram slide, save order, preview. You can see we're back to the old Instagram slide. So those are sort of the main functionalities. You can also edit, which brings up that same form. If you want to change the title, again, save, edit. I'm not going to show you, but it's going to show the same thing. And then finally, there's also some quality of life changes. So let's say you're moving around something and you haven't saved the order. Let's say you want to add a slide. It says, would you like to save before continuing? Yes, and then you can add your new slide. This also prompts for the edit and delete as well. Cool. So that was sort of the demo of this story. We also have sort of the challenges that we faced. So as you can see, there was a drag and drop functionality that was actually really sort of tricky for us to get working initially. In terms of like all the animations and making it look as smooth as we possibly could. It was also sort of difficult to sort of save the order of the slides. Obviously, if you drag one slide down, it's going to change all the slide orders below it. So we needed a way to sort of batch update these. So we created a batch update endpoint in our backend. And then lastly, the sort of confirm changes dialog that you saw was pretty difficult to get working how we wanted. It involved a lot of like callback functions and state handling and whatnot. Lastly, we have our story 2 future considerations. So as you can see, the drag and drop component wasn't like perfectly user-friendly, especially when the lists get pretty long. So there's some polishing that we could do there, as well as adding more templates. As you can see, the templates I showed you were pretty sort of hard structured, not much room for sort of input. All we could change was the title. While our model supports sort of things like the body, the image, and whatnot in our backend and our front-end model, we don't really give the user any templates to utilize these things. So maybe some future templates with multiple images that they can upload, or a body and an image, stuff like that. And then that kind of goes along with adding more custom fields per slide template for your form creation. And then lastly, as you can see, the only way to sort of preview the slides is by running the whole slideshow. We would like an easier way to sort of preview specific slides. And that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We're trying to hit 2 subscribers today. Thank you.